There is a kind of strength that doesn't shout. It doesn't dominate rooms. It doesn't win arguments. And yet, it is the kind of strength that survives betrayal, disappointment, loss, and long seasons where nothing seems to change. Most people chase strength by trying to control life. Jesus spoke about strength by teaching people how to endure life without losing themselves. If resilience were just about personality, discipline, or mental toughness, then the people who followed Jesus most closely would never have broken down. But they did. They doubted. They ran away, they wept, and still, they became unshakable. Not because life became easier, but because something inside them changed. Jesus never promised his followers a painless life. What he offered was something far more honest, a way to remain whole when life applies pressure from every side. He once spoke words that sound gentle at first, but they carry a deep challenge. He said that anyone who hears his words and puts them into practice is like a person who builds a house on the rock. The rain falls, the floods come, the winds beat against that house, but it does not fall. Notice what Jesus emphasized. The storm still comes. The pressure is not removed. The danger is not avoided. The difference is not the absence of storms. The difference is the foundation beneath the life. Many people think resilience means learning how to avoid emotional pain. Jesus taught something deeper. Resilience is about learning where to stand when pain arrives. This is where many believers quietly struggle. They love God sincerely, but when hardship comes, they feel spiritually disoriented. They pray, but still feel fragile. They read scripture, but still feel overwhelmed. The issue is not faithlessness. The issue is often misunderstanding where strength actually comes from. Jesus never described strength as something you produce from effort alone. He described it as something that grows from dependence. He told his disciples that branches do not strain to produce fruit. They remain connected to the vine, and because they remain, life flows through them. That image is not poetic decoration. It is instruction. Disconnected effort creates exhaustion. Connected obedience creates endurance. Take a moment and consider this honestly. How much of your spiritual life has felt like trying to hold yourself together instead of being held? Many people burn out because they believe strength means never needing help, not from others, and quietly, not even from God. But Jesus never praised self-sufficiency. He consistently lifted up surrender. When he said, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest," he was not speaking to lazy people. He was speaking to exhausted people who were carrying more than they were designed to hold. Resilience, according to Jesus, begins when you stop pretending you are fine. This is uncomfortable for many believers. We learn to smile while breaking. We learn to say I'm okay while something inside us collapses slowly. But Jesus never healed anyone who pretended they were whole. He responded to honesty. 2 blind men who admitted they could not see. 2 lepers who admitted they were unclean. 2 sinners who knew they were lost. Strength grows where truth is allowed to breathe. There is a moment in the life of Jesus that often gets overlooked. In the garden, before the cross, he was deeply distressed. The weight of what was coming pressed so heavily that his closest friends could not stay awake beside him. Jesus did not deny his anguish. He brought it to the Father. He prayed with such honesty that it unsettles those who believe faith should always sound calm and composed. Yet this moment did not weaken him, it anchored him. The strength to endure the cross was not found in ignoring the pain, but in entrusting it. This reveals something crucial. Resilience is not emotional numbness. It is emotional honesty that refuses to walk alone. Many people collapse not because life is too hard, but because they carry life without support, without rest, without truth spoken out loud. Jesus invited people into a rhythm: work and rest, obedience and dependence, action and prayer. When that rhythm is broken, strength slowly drains away. If you want to begin practicing the kind of resilience Jesus taught, start here. Create a daily space where honesty with God is not rushed, not rehearsed prayers, not polished words, but real ones. Speak what you fear, name what you're tired of, confess what you don't understand. The Psalms are a powerful place to learn this language. They teach you how to pray without pretending. Reading even one psalm a day, slowly, letting the words shape your own prayer, can rebuild inner stability over time. Another practice Jesus modeled was retreat. He often withdrew to quiet places, not because people were unimportant, but because strength needs renewal. If your life never slows, your soul never recovers. Choose one small boundary this week. Maybe it's turning off noise earlier at night. Maybe it's stepping outside without your phone. Maybe it's a short walk where you breathe deeply and remember that you are not alone. These are not escapes, they are repairs. Jesus never defined strength as domination over life. He defined it as faithfulness within life. The strongest people in Scripture were not those who never fell, but those who learned where to return when they did. And that secret, the one Jesus quietly taught, still holds. Strength grows where dependence is practiced. Resilience deepens where truth is welcomed. And life becomes steadier, not because storms stop coming, but because you are no longer standing alone in them. Before we continue, pause for a moment. What part of your life feels like it's been weathering storms without rest? What area have you been trying to hold together by force instead of trust? Those answers matter more than you think. Real strength does not form in moments of comfort. It forms quietly, in repeated choices no one applauds. Jesus never rushed the process of forming resilient people. He shaped them slowly, through habits, words, corrections, and long walks where conversations went deeper than answers. One of the most overlooked teachings of Jesus about strength is how often he addressed the inner life before external action. He warned that it is possible to look stable on the outside while quietly collapsing within. A house can appear intact while its foundation erodes unseen. That is why he spoke so directly about the heart, not as a metaphor, but as the control center of life. He taught that what fills the heart eventually directs the mouth, the decisions, and the direction of a person's life. Resilience begins with what you allow to live inside you. Many people lose strength not because of one major failure, but because of countless small compromises, unchecked thoughts, unspoken bitterness, unresolved grief. Jesus did not ignore these internal pressures. He confronted them with clarity and compassion. When he said that anxiety cannot add a single hour to life, he was not dismissing worry, he was revealing its cost. An anxious mind is not weak, it is overloaded. Jesus offered an alternative way of carrying life. He invited people to seek first what is eternal, trusting that what is necessary would follow. This does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means ordering responsibility under trust. Many believers feel exhausted because they are trying to control outcomes instead of stewarding faithfulness. They replay conversations, they fear tomorrow, they relive yesterday. Jesus redirected attention to the present moment. Daily bread, daily grace, daily obedience. Resilience grows when the soul learns to live one day at a time without borrowing trouble from tomorrow. Think about how Jesus trained his disciples. He did not give them full explanations for everything. Often, he allowed confusion to remain. This was not neglect, it was formation. Strength matures when faith learns to walk without constant certainty. Many people lose peace because they believe understanding must come before obedience. Jesus often reversed that order. He called people to follow, then revealed clarity along the way. This teaches a difficult truth. Waiting for perfect emotional readiness before obeying God often delays growth. Resilience is built when obedience happens even while emotions are unsettled. Jesus himself modeled this. He did not feel relief before obedience in the garden. He chose faithfulness while distressed. That moment shaped history. If you want to apply this teaching practically, start with one area where obedience has been delayed by emotional hesitation. Maybe it is forgiveness that feels unfair. Maybe it is honesty you have been avoiding. Maybe it is rest you keep postponing because you feel guilty slowing down. Choose one small, faithful step. Not dramatic change, just alignment. Strength does not grow in bursts. It grows in consistency. Jesus also taught resilience through correction. He loved his disciples deeply, but he did not protect them from truth. When Peter tried to control the path of Jesus through fear, Jesus corrected him firmly, not to shame him, but to realign him. Correction is not rejection, it is guidance. Resilient people learn how to receive correction without collapsing into shame or defensiveness. They listen, they adjust, they continue. Another powerful element of Jesus' teaching on strength is his understanding of weakness. He never treated weakness as failure. He treated it as an entry point for grace. This is why he chose fishermen, not scholars. Why he welcomed children. Why he honored faith expressed through trembling hands. Weakness acknowledged becomes strength redirected. Many believers hide their weakness, thinking it disqualifies them. Jesus revealed that it often qualifies them. Practically, this means learning how to name your limitations without judgment. Say, I cannot carry this alone. Say, I need help. Say, I am tired. These are not statements of defeat, they are statements of wisdom. Even Jesus accepted help carrying the cross. Resilience is also shaped by community. Jesus never formed strong individuals in isolation. He sent his followers out together. He corrected them together. He prayed for them together. Isolation weakens perspective. Community restores balance. If your faith has become private to the point of secrecy, strength will eventually erode. This does not require a crowd. It requires one or two trustworthy people where honesty is safe. Consider investing intentionally in one spiritually grounded relationship, someone who can listen without fixing, someone who speaks truth without harshness, someone who prays with you, not just for you. Strength multiplies when shared. Jesus understood something modern culture often ignores. The soul cannot be rushed. Growth takes time. Healing unfolds in layers. Resilience deepens gradually. Those who endure are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who learn where to return when they do. And Jesus made himself that place of return. Pause here for a moment. What habit, thought, or fear has been quietly draining your strength? What would it look like to bring that into the light instead of managing it alone? These questions are not meant to pressure you. They are meant to orient you, because resilience is not about becoming unbreakable. It is about becoming anchored.
Jesus never measured strength the way the world does. Did not point to dominance, control, or emotional invulnerability. He pointed to endurance rooted in love. When he spoke about losing one's life in order to find it, he was not promoting self-destruction. He was exposing a paradox. Most people resist. The tighter you cling to control, the more fragile you become. True resilience begins where control ends. The cross is often misunderstood. Many see it only as suffering. Jesus saw it as obedience shaped by trust. He endured not because he enjoyed pain, but because he knew who was holding the outcome. Strength, in its truest form, is not the absence of fear, but faith that moves forward despite it. This is why Jesus could speak of peace while walking toward betrayal. Not peace as comfort, but peace as alignment. One of the clearest revelations Jesus gave about strength came after the resurrection. His followers were confused, ashamed, disoriented. They had failed him. They had run. They had doubted. Yet Jesus did not rebuild them with lectures. He rebuilt them with presence. He stood among them. He spoke peace. He restored trust. Resilience is restored not by reliving failure, but by receiving grace. This matters deeply for anyone who feels worn down by their own mistakes. Many believers believe they must punish themselves internally to grow stronger. Jesus never taught this. Conviction leads to life. Shame drains it. Jesus corrected his followers, but he never crushed them. He refined them. There is a moment when Jesus restores Peter that reveals the heart of resilience. He did not ask Peter why he failed. He asked if he loved. Strength grows when love is restored to the center. Love for God becomes the anchor again. Resilience follows naturally. In practical terms, this means reframing how you interpret your struggles. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?"
Ask, what is God shaping in me?
Instead of saying, "I should be stronger by now," say, "I am still being formed." Formation takes time. Jesus also taught that strength is sustained through remembrance. He often called people to remember what God had done, what had been promised, what had been revealed. Forgetfulness weakens faith. Remembrance renews it. This is why Scripture is not meant to be consumed quickly, but returned to repeatedly. Choose one gospel passage each week. Read it slowly. Let the words settle. Not for information, but for formation. Another practical discipline Jesus modeled was gratitude rooted in trust. Before multiplying bread, he gave thanks. Before raising Lazarus, he gave thanks. Gratitude does not deny difficulty. It recenters perspective. When you begin naming what remains steady instead of what feels broken, resilience quietly strengthens. Try this daily. At the end of the day, name 3 things where grace showed up. Not dramatic moments, small ones. Consistency matters more than intensity. Jesus understood that strength must be practiced, not merely admired. He taught his followers to pray regularly, not only in crisis. Prayer is not a last resort. It is daily alignment. When prayer becomes sporadic, resilience becomes unstable. Simple prayer is enough. Help me, guide me, stay with me. These prayers build strength over time. Jesus also redefined what winning looks like. In the world, winning often means escaping suffering. In the kingdom, winning means remaining faithful within it. This does not glorify pain. It redeems endurance. Those who endure with faith shape future generations more than those who avoid hardship. Your quiet faithfulness matters more than you realize. If you are in a season where strength feels distant, hear this clearly. Jesus does not ask you to be unbreakable. He asks you to stay connected. Remain, return, rest when needed, obey when called. That rhythm produces resilience. Pause here and breathe. What would change if you stopped measuring strength by how little you feel and started measuring it by how faithfully you remain? What would happen if you trusted that God is more committed to your formation than your comfort? These are not abstract questions. They shape real lives. Resilience, as Jesus taught it, is not heroic. It is faithful. It is waking up again. It is choosing truth again. It is trusting again, even after failure, even after disappointment. If this message resonated with you, take one step today. Choose one practice, one honest prayer, one boundary, one moment of stillness. Small steps shape strong lives. Remember, strength is not something you force. It is something that grows when you walk with Jesus over time. If this teaching helped you see strength differently, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. Here we explore the hard questions of faith with honesty, depth, and scripture. You are not alone in the struggle, and you were never meant to be.